また角度が浅ければ速度を上げやすくなり接近しやすくなる、そして調整幅が大きくなるという理由からです。審査はジャッジ席で行っているので、そこから見た判断になります。そのためにジャッジ席の真横に各チーム1人が入れるスポッター席という場所を設けており、ジャッジの見え方をドライバー、チームスタッフと共有できるようになっています。観客席などジャッジ席以外の場所で見ていた場合、審査結果と全く違うように見えることがあります。ライブ放送で見ていた場合も同じように感じる場合がありますが、それはこの競技がジャッジ席からどのように見えているかで審査されるためです。それぞれが見ている場所により、ジャッジ席およびライブ放送のカメラ位置との角度の違い、高低差などで見え方が変わってしまうからです。あくまでもフォーミュラドリフトの審査はジャッジ席からの見え方でジャッジが判断するということになります。それらをご理解の上、フォーミュラドリフトジャパンをお楽しみください。以上がルール概要でした。さあ、フォーミュラドリフトジャパンの楽しみ方が分かったところで Here we go!
Welcome back. Hope you guys learned a lot from that graphic. Overall, it's very good explaining drift, how the points are scored, where they're scored, and overall how you get to qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. Also, some of y'all were asking if this is a new layout. They did do it last year, but it is relatively new for Ebisu and FD.
Yeah, they started with doing this one with FDJ1, and you can see how the points come out, right? So out zone 1, you get 10 points. Then the switch back over to out zone 2, you get 10 points. The touch and go is 5, the in clip is 5, and the last outer zone, 5 points. They're just cleaning up the course a little bit still. Some finishing touches, and they have a couple cars staged up and ready to go. Oh, they took the graphic from last week from the fan, and they made it into a poster.
They made an actual sign. Okay. I didn't realize it was like a poster. I thought it was still the. I thought it still was a fan.
Well, I mean, it might be fan art. The last one, the actual fan art, was laminated too.
Yeah.
They're saying that they're very excited for the new layout for FDJ2, and it's going to be this same layout for FDJ3 this year too. One of the harder parts is this going through all of zone 1 and then the switchback right before the tire wall. Zone 2 outer. A lot of people today have been riding the wall the whole way, so it's looking very good. Touch and go. A lot of people were hitting the touch and go and then flipping back to the inner clip and making it out to the outer zone. But this first inner zone, that's the tricky part.
Yeah. That getting all the way through that first outer zone is what I've seen in practice to be pretty difficult. They're coming in with so much speed, and they have to basically scrub most of it to get around where they don't run into the tires to get to outer zone 2. So they're having to figure out how to get around to outer zone 1 and stay in it.
a lot of people are leaving zone 1 early just to make sure that they don't clip. But it's very tricky.
I mean,
we see people that don't even hit outer zone 1 at all, and some that ride up into the middle of the track.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably be doing the same thing. So.
I tell you what, everybody's out with the fans today. So Japan, tons of people have the umbrellas that block the sun.
Yeah, it's a hot one today. Our little temperature thing says 41 degrees Celsius. It's toasty. It keeps going up.
Yeah, so 41 is what, like 106?
Yeah. It's definitely not that hot.
That's just because of the sun's on it too,
Yeah.
I guess. But that's our side of the tent. But you can see just the heat radiating off of the track over by the starting line. I was hoping maybe for a little bit of cloud cover today. I see clouds, but no cover.
Looks like it's going to try, but I doubt it will.
Everybody's out covering as much of themselves as they can.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out today, too.
We had the doctor out telling everybody you need to drink 5 liters of water before lunch and 5 liters after.
Isn't that like a little too much?
I don't know. It seems like a lot. On our series ranking after round 1, it says for FDJ2. The names are for one though. The pictures are of the J2 drivers. They're like, man, Kengushi looks a lot younger.
Yeah, I saw that and I didn't think.
Yeah, Hiroya looks about the same.
The judges for FDJ2 and FDJ1 are the same.
Looks like we have our first driver in the burnout box. Yokohama presents FDJ2 round 3 at Ebisu West Course qualifying. We have car number 366, Carman Dong, HKS China. He just missed the last round because his car arrived at port and they were still trying to get it through customs.
Yeah, it arrived the day of the event, so.
Yeah.
Making his way to this first outer zone. Gets into drift for that 3-2-1. Gets all the way into outer zone 1 and then just goes a little bit too far. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, that's going to be the most difficult part, in my opinion, is getting all the way through outer zone 1 and not going too far. Having to scrub all that speed in a short amount of distance is very hard.
Yeah, just coming in super hot. It's nice, but just carries it way too far. The half spin, unfortunately, lands at 0. But still has one more run to go, so that's good. But you can see a lot of the drivers are able to hit the rest of the course. It's that first zone. But unless you get a good zone one, it's really difficult to do any of the rest.
Yeah, we were talking to some of the drivers, and they were pretty much saying that that entry is going to be the most difficult part. Everything else is big, wide, full throttle at angle. So
yeah, and the track is extremely hot. Up next, we have car number 416, Sweet Ryan with KCM Trade and TRC.
starts into outer zone 1, gets out of it just a little bit. Ah, he hits the tires. He was having a rough time in practice, just trying to figure the track out.
Yeah, he was doing a pretty good job in practice, but he was doing mostly chases. He didn't really get as many lead runs as some of the other drivers, but that's also part of the choices you make is how many runs you're going to take, and you want to take them as lead or chase. Yeah, just a little too hot in the zone 1. Between everybody's tires being nice and warm after the burnout box and the track being hotter than it was during practice. On the plus side, a couple adjustments, and she put down a nice clean run for her second one. We have a D1 driver out helping with the tires. You guys know who it is? He's on the far left walking right now. It's Yuma. Car number 130, Hubert Lee with RSR and TRC. Pulling up to the line. It looks like the track's cleared. We'll be giving the thumbs up shortly. They're just waiting for the cleanup trucks to get staged. It's good to go.
Heading down to the track in there, this 3-2-1 with a lot of angle, missing outer zone 1, coming around to outer zone 2. Just gets into it at the very end, hits the touch and go, comes around. And the last outer zone looks a little shallow as well, but there's going to be points on the board. Maybe.
Yeah, see, he just didn't have enough speed going into 1. I think they're going to count that into a half spin or counter by the tires. But, I mean, again, you can see, once they get through zone 1, unfortunately, that's a 0 for Hubert Lee, but he'll come out second run, make some adjustments and lay down a clean one. Pulling up to the line now. We have car number 611, Sang Aris with Mogan Team Track Day Kyo.
Made his way into outer zone 1 with a big flick into that 3-2-1 zone. He just gets into it at the end. Comes around to outer zone 2. Gets all the way into outer zone 2. Hits that touch and go. Rounded this inside the clip. Making his way to the last outer zone. Does a nice job there.
Just clip the beginning and ending of zone 1. Swinging around. A little off from the wall in the middle of the zone. It's touch and go nice, inner clip nice, and brings it out to zone 3. Overall, it's a run in the books, but definitely left room for cleanup. So what do you guys think he scored? Yeah, 66. And up next is car number 22, Yasuo Takano with Advantage Neo, G-Mice, Clean Racing, HBI.
Coming into outer zone 1, gets all the way, and then, oh, he just over-rotates.
I think he's been having some car issues today. Because yeah, practice, he had a lot of sight runs.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those. And then when we passed by the pit, he was, they were on the laptop looking at logs, so.
Unfortunately, that's a 0 for him the first run. Pulling up to the line now, have car number 318, Timmy Wu with RSR and TRC.
Making his way to outer zone 1 with a big flick into that 3-2-1. Gets all the way in, does a nice job in outer zone 1, comes around looking for outer zone 2. Is deep into outer zone 2, stays all the way in, comes around this touch and go with the inside clip, making his way to the last outer zone, and does a nice job getting all the way through the last outer zone.
Yeah, super wide entry coming into zone 1. A little shallow through zone 1, and a little wide going through the flick. Pretty shallow through zone 2. Inner clip about mid-level. And nice and deep through zone 3. But yeah, I tell you, going into zone 2, that wall does get scary.
Yeah, it's not going to move for you either.
And 73 for Timmy Wu. Up next, car number 614, Ken Young with KCM Trade and TRC.
Making his way to outer zone 1 with a big flick. Missing outer zone 1. Making his way to outer zone 2. just gets inside of outer zone 2 at the very end. Does a nice job of that touch and go. And that inner clip coming around the last outer zone. Does a nice job in that outer zone as well.
Yeah. After the initiation, he just had a little bit too much bite. Put away from zone 1. Gets into zone 2 right at the end. Swings by the touch and go. Nice in clip. And nice and deep to zone 2.
He scores a 58.
Put him on the board. Up next, we have car number 171, Eijo Noguchi with Harukaze Racing.
There's a big flick trying to get all the way to outer zone 1. Gets into it at the very end of it. Makes his way to outer zone 2. About halfway through, he gets all the way in and he gets deep into it. Does that touch and go, does a nice job. Does a nice job of that inner clip coming around the outer zone, and he does a nice job getting in the outer zone as well.
Yeah, he has a nice big flick to get into.
Scrubbing a lot of speed.
He just fights this big altitude, but he gets in pretty deep at the end. Touch and go, great. Inner clip is great. Final zone, very good as well. It's normally right after zone 2. That's whenever everything for these guys just starts making sense.
Yeah.
And a 70 for Noguchi. And up next is car number 26, Masayuki Minami with Team YNJ.
Making his way to outer zone 1. Just hits the tips of the first part of it in the last part. Comes around to outer zone 2. Trying to get in there, gets in there at the very last minute. Does a nice job of that touch and go. And the inner clip coming around the last outer zone. Does a nice job of that outer zone as well.
Yeah, he was definitely having some issues earlier today. His car was pushing with a lot of understeer. And he had something to blow earlier as well. When we went to the pits, they were changing out some parts. But overall, decent run, especially one to start with. Zone 1 barely got that to end, but with a 60 for Minami. Up next, we have car number 111, Sugiura Naoki with Wisteria STM Racing.
Headed in this first outer zone. Does a nice job and then leaves at the end of outer zone 1. Looking for outer zone 2, gets in at the very end. Does a nice job with that touch and go and inner clip. Makes his way to the last outer zone. Quite nice.
Oh, very clean run. Oh, avert. Masayuki Minami is different from MSG Minami. So MSG Minami will have the CAA 18. hitting nice deep through the zones. Inner clip nice, and comes around and hits through zone 3. And a 67, or no. Up next, we have car number 95, Shuichi Shinoichi. S14 Sylvia with Magician.
Coming out of the chicane, gaining a lot of speed with this 3-2-1 zone. Does a nice job. Gets the first piece of that outer zone 1, comes around to outer zone 2. Trying to get in there, just gets in there right at the last minute. Does a nice job of the touch and go and inner clip. Trying to make it all the way to outer zone 3, and it looks like he just got a piece of it.
Just barely clipped zone 1. It looked like zone 2 finished up a little deep. It's an inner clip, or not the inner clip, the touch and go, and the inner clip. It just looks like he was lacking some speed. But
Yeah.
overall, points on the board.
Yeah.
And 62 for Shinoichi. Up next, we have car number 99, Kazuya Nagahiro with Nagahiro Racing in an S14 Sylvia.
Making his way to outer zone 1. Has a big flick. Does a nice job. He gets all the way through outer zone 1, comes around, looking for this touch and go. Outer zone 2, he gets in it at the last minute. Looks like he barely missed the touch and go, comes around to that inner clip, does a nice job with the inner clip, and does a fantastic job at outer zone 3.
After zone 1, I'm like, okay, sweet. It's got zone 1 beautiful. Flips back. And then coming out, just barely getting zone 2 right at the end. Touch and go, just missed it. Flips back with the inner clip, nice. And then sweeping back out for the final out zone.
He did a great job of that outer zone 1. I think that was the best we've seen so far.
Yeah, that zone 1 was very
He was
clean.
all the way in it the whole time.
77. And pulling up to the line now, we have car number 777, Raman Russell with RS Watanabe, Garidori Kai, Buy Now Japan.
Yeah, he was having some issues during practice. Didn't get a whole lot of practice in today. So see how well he does as he makes his way to outer zone 1. Does a good job. Just come around to outer zone 2. Gets in outer zone 2 right at the very end. Does a good job with that touch and go and inner clip. Looking for outer zone 3. Oh, and he looks like he lost a tire, but he will complete the lap. I guess he knows to stay in it.
Yeah. Was that was his wheel that fell off, right?
It was 100% his wheel.
See, here it goes. He just stayed on driving.
Hey, he wants to get a run in. gets points on the board.
I guess if a wheel falls off, it's a 0.
Still chaseable.
I mean, I guess. I guess it all depends on when it falls off. Was that just the tire that fell off, or was it the whole wheels?
I think it was the whole thing. I think it was the wheel and tire. Which I know if y'all ever heard of Ebisu Matsuris or any of that deal, wheels just tend to fall off here at this course for some reason. I don't know what it is, but the studs just like to snap.
I mean, for Matsuri, I don't think it's the studs. I think it's just not quite putting the lugs on good enough. Oh yeah, it's the whole wheel. Yeah, I think that's...
It's a tough break because he was battling that car all week.
Yeah.
Yesterday during practice, he broke his diff. Today during practice, he broke his diff again.
So yesterday was his whole final. Like the gears broke. So they switched to new diff, and today was the LSD that he had issues with. So they went and they swapped all that stuff out. Oh man. They're just doing a quick check to make sure that they can show them off, or are they going to take the wheel to them and impact it on?
I don't know.
Or the studs broken?
I think the studs were broke.
And that's a tough break for myself. And it's right there at the end too. Yeah, all the tires are Yokohama 8009s, the Advan Neovas, and the wheels are MID Racing. They're just telling the fans, make sure you drink water. Correct. Yeah, with the studs breaking, it doesn't affect the wheel. Looks like they're bringing out that forklift too. I tell you, the wind picked up a little bit. Our thermometer dropped down to 40 degrees Celsius.
I'll take that. The sun's starting to set down though, and I'm about to be in the sun full time.
Is it setting that way? Good luck.
Yeah, no. I'd be the only one in the sun.
Well, you were complaining about you wanted to be able to see.
Hey, I wasn't complaining. Yeah, I believe this is the first time FDJ2 is running this layout, right?
Yeah.
So every single person is trying to figure out how to do it because they don't. You come here, they're not going to set this course up on a random day, so it's literally only for Formula Drift. So they're only having a little time to try to figure this track out.
Yeah, Ramen would be able to come back out for his second run.
Yeah, he should make it.
Oh, they're in the process of towing it, or getting it on the back of the truck. Unfortunately, I only get to see what they're doing now because it's on the other side of the hill whenever it's on the camera. The sun is baking people out here. We're just hoping for some more wind. They're talking about, the announcers are talking about how whoever had shaved ice stand out here, they'd be making bank with all the fans.
They'd be making a lot of money from me.
So these two, they have the shaved ice cups. For as hot as it to be, the mountains sure do look really pretty though.
Yeah, there's still some snow on the top of them as well. I don't know how.
Yeah. Everybody's just getting ready in the pits, waiting for their turn. Yeah, they might be trying to install 5 studs on the track right now.
Yeah, we need a camera on that, man.
Yeah.
There it is.
You got it on the truck. I guess with the help of the forklift. They're going to bring that around, restage the forklift. Then we should good to proceed. I don't see many electric fans in Japan, but I see a lot of traditional ones. We have our next car about to hit the burnout box. as they're bringing Russell around the backside. But they have to make sure he clears the stands first before they let the next car into the burnout box. Okay, we got our next car in the burnout box. So it looks like we'll be good to go shortly. Pulling up to the starting line now. We have car number 66, Yuma Okada with Kaitaku Racing. And he's about to get the go ahead.
1ですね、サイズ。あ、1号ですね、ごめんなさい。1号の方、スタートしました、カナンバー16。
Okada in his S15 Sylvia making his way to his outer zone 1. Has a good flick, does a nice job in the outer zone 1, coming around, making his way to outer zone 2. Trying to get all the way in. He sounds like he's a little on power or something. Makes his all the way to outer zone 2 and that touch and go. And gets a high, he over rotates after that inside the clip.
So close. Coming through zone 1. Very nice.
Yeah, it sounded like he was being very conservative right there.
I don't
or
know.
Something.
It sounds almost like he was in the wrong gear. Because it just didn't seem like he had full power and he wasn't high revs at any time. And unfortunately, a cutout with a 0 for his first run. Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 215, Takeru Takata with Garage Takata and Auto Shop Wise.
Making his way to this first outer zone. Does a nice job. And that gets all the way into outer zone 1, makes his way to outer zone 2. It looks like he just barely come out of it in the middle, but gets deep back into it. And does a nice job of that touch and go inside and in the inner clip, coming around outer zone 3.
Overall, a pretty clean run. Zone 1, a little shallow to start with. Finished nice and deep. Brings it around to zone 2. It starts off super shallow. Gets a little deep towards the end. Hits touch and go nice. Inner clip nice. Swing it back out. Zone 3 for an overall nice clean run. The judges are saying he was a little heavy on the side brake. And 73 for Takata. Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 92, Kenji Suzuki with G-Meister, HPI Racing with Neat.
Comes out of the chicane, getting a lot of speed. There's a big flick coming around, looking for outer zone 1. Just gets into it at the very beginning and falls out of it. Making his way to outer zone 2. Does a nice job getting into outer zone 2 at the beginning. Looks like he barely missed that touch and go. Does a nice job at that inside clip. Throws a lot of angle in outer zone 3.
He gets in right at the beginning of outer zone 1, and that's all he sees. He switches back. Not very much angle, and pretty shallow until towards the end of zone 2. Just misses the touch and go. A little deep in the inner clip. Overall, it's definitely a run to learn from. Ends up with a 65 for Suzuki. Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 118, Takuma Yokoyama with Vaikolo.
昨年と J3 でこのコース自体は体験しているドライバー。
Heading into outer zone 1. There's a big flick. Looking for outer zone 1. Gets all the way in it and then just has to slow. He slows down too much and has to get out of real early. Does a nice job getting all the way through outer zone 2. Hits the touch and go and the inside clip. Looking for outer zone 3. Does a nice job getting deep in outer zone 3.
Switch back here. That's one of the problems that they run into. If they're throwing a lot of angle at the beginning, they just don't have the speed to carry them all the way out through zone 1. And then zone 2, essentially you just start laying on the throttle to force your way to the outside of zone 2. Hits the touch and go nice. Inner clip nice, and then swing it back out to pick up zone 3. Yeah. See, that's what you run into issues. Like, they just don't have enough speed. Because a lot of these guys are entering super early into the initiation, which just makes it hard for them to carry speed through zone 1.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the hardest, the judges are saying that one of the hardest things is the style judges. It's like if it's not a clean looking run, it's very difficult to judge. So what do you guys think the score is? And a 60 for Yokoyama. Up next, we have car number 727, Tomoharu Nishizaki with Tamematsu Thunderbird with Kiyami Gaijin. Yeah.
Heading into outer zone 1 with a big flick. Holding the E-brake. Does a nice job in outer zone 1. Comes around to outer zone 2. Is deep in outer zone 2 and then stays all the way through it. Does a nice job of that touch and go and the inside clip. And does a great job at outer zone 3.
Yeah, a very good clean run. He gets nice and deep into zone 1. Rides the edge at the end. Swinging back around for zone 2. Stays nice and deep throughout the whole zone 2. Touch and go. Lots of angle. Hits the inner clip nicely. Swings back around. Picks up points in zone 3. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, that was a pretty solid
That
run.
was a very solid run. That's 75 for Nishizaki. Up next, we have car number 830, Stewart. You know it, with Stewart with Racing Crew.
Expect to see a lot of angle from this guy, as that's what we've been doing. Coming around outer zone 1. Does a nice job in outer zone 1 with a lot of angle, but it looks like he might have overspun. But does a great job. Looks like he even touched the wall in outer zone 2. That touch and go inner clip are very good. Does a nice job in outer zone 3. It's insane how much angle he can do.
It looks so good. But unfortunately, that's a little bit too much over rotation leaving zone 1. Nice and deep. Just a beautiful rest of the run. Unfortunately, a 0 for Stewart on his first run. Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 193, Kiminobu Deguchi with Garidori Kai, BNJ with D's Enterprise.
Oh, he had a lot of angle and speed coming into outer zone 1. Gets a little deep. Looking for outer zone 2. About halfway, he does a nice job getting into it. Hits the touch and go. In the inside clip. And is very deep in outer zone 3.
I'll tell you what, lots of speed, lots of smoke, and lots of angle. He's just coming around and having fun.
That was definitely the fastest entry ever.
I mean, unfortunately, I feel like he sacrificed a little bit of line and a little bit of angle for a lot of fun.
That's why he has another run. Doesn't look like he was impressed.
So what do you guys think he scored? It was definitely a show.
It's a 78.
78, currently
highest-
number 1 position.
Highest of the day so far. I think if he didn't get too deep into the outer zone, that would have been in the 80s for sure.
Oh, definitely. Next up, we have car number 48, Tomoyuki Kitashiba with OS Ginken, Kamui Produce.
And in this first outer zone with a good amount of speed, trying to push it all the way through. He does get in it, but falls out right after. Coming around to outer zone 2. About halfway, he gets pretty deep in there. Does a nice job of that touch and go and inside clip. Outer zone 3. He's deep in outer zone 3 with a lot of throttle.
Yeah, he did a great job. Zone 1, entered a little early, left really early. He's just having a little bit of trouble getting to outer zone 2. Touch and go nice. Switch back into the inner clip. Swing it back around. Great job through zone 3. So what do you guys think? His score, oh, 70. That was back really fast. So Shiba with a 70. Coming up next, car number 620, Hinato with Athlete and LB Racing. Hint has some really good runs in practice. Looking forward to seeing what he can throw down for his first qualifying run.
さあこちらも昨年度 FDJ3 でこの8の字レイアウトは走行済み。さあ日向選
Head towards the outer zone with a lot of speed, trying to get all the way in. He does a good job in outer zone 1. It falls out a little early. Outer zone 2, he's deep in outer zone 2. It shallows up just a little bit. Does a nice job of that touch and go and inside clip. Outer zone 3, there was a lot of angle. He was pretty deep in outer zone 3.
Very good entry in zone 1. He leaves a bit early. He's able to clip a bit at the end. Switching back around, zone 2. Nice and deep in the middle part and the ending of zone 2. Touch and go nice and deep, lots of angle. Inner clip also lots of angle. Bringing around to zone 3. A very good run. Oh, drone footage just shows you how much speed you're taking into the wall and how close to the wall you get. It's crazy. Yeah, I see some 78s, 74s. So you guys thinking mid to upper 70s? 78.
Phoenix TM got it right on the money.
Right on the money. Tied for number 1. Next up, we have car number 260, Jonathan Chin with Team Taiwan Elite Super.
Does a nice job in outer zone 1 with a lot of speed. Coming around to outer zone 2. About halfway, he gets real deep in outer zone 2. His touch and go, does a nice job with the touch and go and inside clip. Making his way to outer zone 3 with a lot of angle, and he was real deep into that as well.
Yeah, that was a beautiful run. Nice and deep. Coming into zone 1, was able to get back out to the end of zone 1, swinging back around. Zone 2 starts to feel it more and more towards the end. Touch and go nice. Switch back to the inner clip. Nice and deep through zone 3. He was having some issues earlier with zone 3, but looks like he has all that figured out.
Yeah, he's also one of the fastest ones here today, too.
Yeah. Oh, 84.
There's a new number 1 for now. Subject to change.
And up at the line now, we have car number 82, Shuhei Itoyama with Makeup Garage B2.
さあ新シーズン選手ここも高スコアでまずは単走1本目入ってまいりました。さあ続いてカーナンバー82小山周平選手。
Making his way to outer zone 1. Does a nice job in outer zone 1. Gets all the way through outer zone 1. Comes around to outer zone 2. It's a little shallow in the beginning, but then gets deep in outer zone 2. Does a nice job of that touch and go and inside clip. And then does a nice job in outer zone 3.
Definitely nice and deep into zone 1. He's one of the very few cars that's essentially started in zone 1 and ended in zone 1. Bring it back around. Zone 2, hit the touch and go nice. In the clip, sweet. And just finishing up in zone 3. Beautiful run.
Yeah, that was a very solid run.
Oh, 79. Brings him into number 2. Pulling up to the line now. we have car number 39, Taiki Mizui with TMS Racing Team.
Coming out of the chicane, gaining a lot of speed right before this 3-2-1 zone. There's a lot of angle trying to reach outer zone 1. It looks like he just got in it at the very beginning. Coming around to outer zone 2. It looks like he's pretty shallow in outer zone 2. At touch and go and inside clip does a nice job at making his way for outer zone 3 and does a very nice job in outer zone 3.
Yeah, it looks like he just barely got into zone 1 right at the end, or right at the beginning. Swings out, just throwing more gas to get into zone 2 a bit more. He's only able to get in right at the end and pretty shallow. But finished up nice with the touch and go inner clip in zone 3. And a 72 from Mizui, which is one of my favorite liveries. I love the blue and the black. Next up to the line is car number 63, Fuga Kimura with Team Trinity Racing.
Heading towards outer zone 1. Does a big flick with a lot of speed. Just goes off track, but does a nice job in outer zone 1. Coming around to outer zone 2. It's a little shallow at the beginning, but again, nice and deep in outer zone 2. Does a nice job of that touch and go. And inside clip coming around to outer zone 3. Maybe still looks a little shallow in outer zone 3 though.
But I think we found the cheat code to getting deep into zone 1.
Yeah.
Just go off track just a little bit and able to push you out through the entirety of zone 1. Zone 2, a little late in there, but overall nice and deep towards the end. Touch and go, inner clip, switch back to zone 3. Tons of speed.
Yeah,
tons of angle.
The only problem I've seen with them, he gets a 78. Puts him in 4th place.
And pulling up next, we have car number 103, Tomohiko Kobayashi with Fat 5 Racing.
さあスタートします。さあこちらも昨年の FDJ2 コースは経験済み、そしてそのフリップにアグレッシブな記録を見せる
Coming out of the chicane. Gaining speed into this 3-2-1 zone. Does a nice job throwing a lot of angle, and then oh no, he just spins out. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, dirt dropping right before that first outer zone can go one of two ways. It can work good and help you out, or it can just push you off track.
So you're saying it's either going to be great or a disaster?
Exactly.
Oh, I tell you, early this morning when the track was still a little cool. In the zone. And pulling up to the line now, we have car number 62, Tatsuya Kobayashi with Team Trinity Racing.
トレンティレーシングゲレテクテクマーク2
Making his way to outer zone 1. Has a big flick right before that 3-2-1 zone. Gets deep in outer zone 1 and then stays all the way in it, making his way to outer zone 2 with a lot of speed. It looks like he had a little left foot brake, but does a great job getting all the way and deep in outer zone 2. Does a nice job of that touch and go. And inside clip, making his way to outer zone 3 with a lot of angle and smoke.
That was a great run. Yeah, that run looked super clean and super fun. Nice and deep through zone 1. Dropping one tire, but super deep through the whole thing. Swinging back around, just laying on the throttle. I tell you what though, from the judges stand, zone 2, he looked a lot deeper than that back camera says.
Yes, he did. You could also see his left foot brake right before that zone a lot more prominent in person. That was very drastic, but it helped him out.
An 83 for Tatsuya Kobayashi.
Puts him in second behind Jonathan.
Up next, we have car number 109, Yusuke Aoki with Garidori Kai, Buy Now Japan.
Making his way to outer zone 1, does a good job entering into outer zone 1, and stays all the way in it, deep in outer zone 1, looking for outer zone 2. Does a nice job in outer zone 2. Does a nice job of that touch and go and inside clip. It is nice and deep in outer zone 3.
Oh, nice.
It was another solid run.
Just nice and deep through zone 1. Again, these last 12, 13 drivers have their first runs left. They're gonna all be good. Just beautiful. Especially for his first run.
Yeah, that's a solid first run.
So what do you guys think his score is? Aoki just laying down clean runs.
Gets an 86. Puts him in first as of now. And you can definitely tell that was by far the best run so far.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just looking at zone 1. And up next we have car number 23, Jace, with Veicolo. It is Z33 Fair Lady.
Coming around outer zone 1, he has a lot of angle. Does a nice job. Oh no, he just spins out.
I'll tell you, after that spin out, he laid down a pretty clean lap.
He had a solid entry. And just right at the end, it looks like he got on the gas maybe too early or too fast, and it just spins him out.
But after that, nice and deep through zone 2, just bringing it around. Unfortunately, Jace gets a 0 for his first run. And pulling up the line now, we have car number 373, MSG Minami with MSG. Bert, this is the one you're waiting for with the CA18.
Coming out of the chicane, looking to make a lot of noise, gaining some speed into this 3-2-1. Does a nice job in outer zone 1, coming around for outer zone 2. Does a nice job in outer zone 2. Is a little shallow in the middle, but does a nice job. Hits that touch and go and interclip really well. And it looks a little shallow in outer zone 3, but all in all, another very good run.
Yeah, overall super clean run. nice and deep through zone one. Switch back, inches from the tires. He gets in deep to zone two, shallows in the middle, ends back a little bit deep. Touch and go, nice inner clip, and then back out to zone three. Overall, super clean run. Great zone one. And zone one and zone two are where you're going to get the majority of your points.
He's making some noise for the fans in the background. Gives him a 75, which will put him in 9th place so far.
A very good first run.
Solid first run. I think the killer for him is going to be his speed. He can't gain that much speed compared to other competitors, but he's going to be all in all a good run.
Up next is Arthur Hey Yamaguchi with Norioka and all the way.
Oh no!
You see him kidnapping a cone?
He's trying to. He's going to take it again. Oh, he missed both of them.
I mean, you should get points for dodging those points in. Just went a little too hard in the zone one. We have a little bit of cloud cover now, so hopefully things will start cooling down a little bit. Unfortunately, Yamaguchi with a 0. Yeah, pulling up to the line now, you have car number 110. Sugisaki Sensei, LG Project with TMS Racing. Sensei had a lot of great runs.
And a lot of speed with a big flick coming in, looking for outer zone one. He has a lot of angle. And then, oh no! Just over rotates, trying to make his way to outer zone.
Too much angle out of after zone one. So then just switch back. Unfortunately, Sensei with the 0. Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 810, Kawase Ideya with Team B-Star.
Looking for outer zone one. Does a nice job at outer zone one. Gets a little deep at the very end. Comes looking for the outer zone two. Does a nice job with outer zone two. Nice and deep in that zone. Hits the touch and go. Gets the inside clip. Looking for outer zone three. Does a nice job in outer zone three.
Yeah, super clean run. Definitely has some room to improve, but overall nice and deep through zone one. Great switch back to 2. Nice and deep through 3. Touch and go. Switch back to inner clip and then swing it back around. Zone 3. Yeah, MSG Minami runs a CA 18. 76 for Kawase. Up next, we have car number 34, Yuki Inooka with Bold World Junction.
Coming out of the chicane, gaining a lot of speed with a big flick right before outer zone 1, but gets deep and all the way through outer zone 1, making his way outer zone 2. Does a nice job at outer zone 2, gets a little shallow in the middle, but nice and deep. At the very end, does a nice job that touch and go and inside clip, coming around for outer zone 3, and does a nice job getting nice speed in outer zone 3.
Very good switchback, nice and deep through zone 3, or zone 1 the whole way. So one of the questions that I wonder about is from zone 1 to zone 2, what is the optimal line? Is it better to be closer to the tire wall or further away? We're definitely seeing the score here because Inooka was a bit further away from the tire wall.
Yeah.
And Kawase was a bit closer.
Gets an 80, putting him in 4th place. I guess that kind of answers the question.
So he gets further away, fluid motion.
I mean, there's definitely other factors into those runs.
Nope, that's it. Just those two options.
Up next is Russell with RPM Parts. Does a nice job getting to outer zone 1. Does a very nice job staying all the way through. Looking for outer zone 2. Gets in it a little delayed, but does a nice job of that touch and go and inside clip. Coming around to outer zone 3 and does a nice job in outer zone 3.
Yeah, Russell, a little shallow in zone 1. Switch it back. Yeah, just barely getting in towards the end of zone 2. Touch and go, nice and deep. Inner clip, and then swing it back around to zone 3. During practice, he was super deep through zone 1 and zone 2. I don't know if he's trying something new, something different, or just because the track's a bit hotter. I mean, it could be a couple other factors as well.
Yeah, the track is very hot now, so.
So Russell with a 70.
Yeah, I think the last time he drove was almost 3 hours ago too, from practice.
Up next, we have car number 104, Toshiko Mizuno with Team Zero.
Looking for outer zone 1, does a nice job, gets nice and deep, a little too deep in outer zone 1. Comes around to outer zone 2, does a nice job, stays nice and deep all the way through. Bobbles just a little bit at the end of outer zone 2, does a nice job with a touch and go. And inside clip, coming around for outer zone 3, is nice and deep in outer zone 3.
Very good. Nice and deep through zone 1. Switching back around, super close to the tires. Nice and deep through zone 2. Is the switchback, inner clip, and then back out to zone 3. Overall, a very clean run. He had a lot of speed coming into zone 1.
Yeah.
And a 77 for Mizuno. Up next, we have car number 75, Koji Nagase with Team Kazama. Convertible will be nice and clean today.
has a lot of speed, looking for outer zone 1. It's a little shallow, makes his way to outer zone 2. Does a nice job in outer zone 2. It's the touch and go. And the inside flip, very nice. It's a little shallow in outer zone 3.
I feel like he didn't have as much speed as he's been carrying earlier today. Just barely got a little bit in zone 1, zone 2. Finishes up nice and deep. Inner clip. Nice. And a little shallow to zone 3. Overall, it's a good starter run, but he's going to have to pick up the speed, the angle, and the intensity for the next run. 66 for Nagase. Car number 42, Daiichi Esaki's pulling up now with Kira Power, KFK with the Soran.
Headed to outer zone 1. Has a big flick. Does a good job trying not to hit the tires. Making his way to outer zone 2. Is nice and deep in outer zone 2. Looking for this touch and go. And does a good job of the inside clip. Is nice and deep in outer zone 3.
Yeah, overall, very, very good run. A good initiation brings him nice and deep through the end of zone 1. Just close to scrubbing the tires. Nice and deep through zone 2. Touch and go. Inner clip, and swing it back around. Overall, a very good, clean run. I just love it when they go super deep through zone 1 at a 75 for Esaki.
Yeah, when they get nice, when they get all the way to the backside of outer zone 1,
Oh, I love it.
there's something about it.
And up next, we have car number 829, Sena. White River with Wakos.
Comes in with a lot of speed. Looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job outer zone 1. Making his way to outer zone 2. Nice and deep in outer zone 2. Sitting on the left foot brake. Does a nice job. Then touch and go and inside clip. Making his way. Outer zone 3. Does a nice job in outer zone 3.
That's beautiful. Just riding zone 1 all the way through. Zone 2, I think he's one of the deeper ones. Oh. Touch and go. It's tons of angle. Inner clip, tons of angle. Zone 3, tons of angle. Just on the throttle, tons of angle. It's great. Right at the end, just so close to that. So what do you guys think? What do you think his score is going to be?
I'm seeing high 80s right now, even a 90. Oh, and he gets an 89.
89.
There was a couple of y'all that got 89.
So saying that currently, number 1. Car number 7, Soshiro Nakamura with Japan Environment Development Racing with Believe.
Coming off the win, trying to get another one. does a good job making it all the way to outer zone 1. Making his way to outer zone 2. Nice and deep in outer zone 2. Going a lot of angle at that touch and go, coming around to this inside clip. Does a nice job. And does a nice job in outer zone 3. Another clean run.
Yeah,
I don't think you can shake this kid.
I know. Between Soshiro and Zaina, two very, very good youngsters. Great clean run. Super deep through zone 2. Tons of angle going through the touch and go. Inner clip could have been a little bit more in. Looks like it could have been a little bit deeper in zone 3. But overall, high level drifting, very good runs. Where do you guys think he scored? An 84 for Soshiro Nakamura.
Puts him in 4th position so far. We got one more.
That was the last of our run one. And there's our current ranking. We have Zaina in first, followed by Aoki, Jonathan, Soshiro, Kobayashi. Oh, it's going to be a close one. And it looks like we're about to be going to commercial. Just going to be finishing up the lines, and we'll see you guys in just a little bit.
雨の日の運転って心配ですよね。いざという時によりちゃんと止まれるタイヤといえば横浜タイヤでしょ。
晴れの日の約4倍も事故が多い雨の運転。横浜タイヤならより安心。
タイヤは雨で選ぼう。横浜タイヤ。
追い求めれば求めるほど遠ざかる時もある。でも理想に追いつけるのは自分だけだ。池江璃花子は横浜ゴムと世界に挑戦する。限界はない。行くぞ横浜。
MID ホイール Are you ready everybody? MID ホイールダンディムーディ MID ホイールキャンディーフレンディホイールは MID
Ultimate lubricant. Mortis.
Made in Japan. Breed.
雨の日の運転って心配ですよね。いざという時によりちゃんと止まれるタイヤといえば横浜タイヤでしょ。
晴れの日の約4倍も事故が多い雨の運転。横浜タイヤならより安心。
タイヤは雨で選ぼう。横浜タイヤ。
追い求めれば求めるほど遠ざかる時もある。でも理想に追いつけるのは自分だけだ。池江璃花子は横浜ゴムと世界に挑戦する。限界はない。行くぞ横浜。
MID ホイール Are you ready everybody? MID ホイールダンディムーディ MID ホイールキャンディフレンドホイールは MID。
Ultimate lubricant. Mortis.
Made in Japan. Breed.
Welcome back, guys. And pretty soon we'll be starting up with run 2. Yokohama presents FDJ2 round 3, Ebisu Circuit, West Course. Currently, we have a couple people still sitting on zeros before we can fill out the field of 32. And here's our top 20 listed right now. And 21 through 32. And like I said, we still have some people sitting on zeros to fill out the field. Hopefully we'll get those and some improvements on the first runs for the rest of the guys. We've had a couple very exciting runs and quite a few runs where drivers need to improve on just a little bit here, a little bit there to make the runs nice and crisp and a little cleaner.
You can see Carman Dong in the burnout box.
Yeah, as of right now, we have a CA18 holding his own, making it to qualifying. And pulling up to the line now, we have car number 366, Carman Dong with HKS China.
Coming out of the chicane. Does a nice flick, nice and conservative. Does a nice job in outer zone 1, coming around to outer zone 2. Gets in outer zone 2 early, stays all the way through. Hits the touch and go and the inside clip. Come around to outer zone 3. Does a nice job in outer zone 3.
Overall, a much better run than his first one. It's nice through zone 1. Switch back. Coming into zone 2. Just laying on the left foot brake. Hitting throttle, getting more angle, switching out to touch and go, inner clip, and then back out to zone 3. Just trying to get a run in the books because he's sitting on a 0 right now.
Shouldn't give him a 0. It gives him a 70, putting him in 22nd spot. Let's see if he stays there.
And up at the line now, we have car number 416, Sui Ryan with KCM Trade and TRC. Also currently sitting on the 0.
Nice conservative entry into outer zone 1. Looks like he touched the front and the back side of it. Missing. Just gets into it at the very end for outer zone 2. So he barely touches outer that touch and go. Coming around to outer zone 3. A little shallow in outer zone 3.
Yeah, just barely hitting outer zone 1 at the start and the end. Really shallow going into zone 2, but he's able to clip it right in the end as well. Right through the inner clip and a little shallow through zone 3. Overall, that should get him a run. Currently at 32 with a 51. And pulling up to the line now, we have car number 130, Hubert Lee with the RSR and TRC, also currently sitting on a 0.
Comes out of the chicane. A lot of speed. Oh. Missing all of outer zone 1, comes around, looking for outer zone 2. Just gets into it at the very end. Barely touches that touch and go, does a nice job at that inner clip. And is a little shallow in outer zone 3.
He was coming in really fast. And his car just gripped up and tried to initiate zone 2. He's able to get into it once again. The inner clip, very nice. Pretty nice into zone 3. So what do you guys think he scored? And a 50. Unfortunately, he is the first person out. Up at the line now, car number 611, Sang Aris with Mogan Team Track Day Co. Currently sitting on a 66.
And with a lot of speed, looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job in outer zone 1. Barely missing the tires, coming around for outer zone 2. He gets in outer zone 2 and stays in it all the way through. It's that touch and go. And the inside clip, quite nice. All right, he looks like he was just a tad shallow in outer zone 3, but all in all, good run.
An excellent run. This should definitely put him in a much better spot than the 66 for this first run. So what do you guys think? Coming in nice and deep, closing out zone 2. Touch and go, nice. Switch back to the inner clip. Zone 3. Yeah, it's a much better run, a much better improvement on his first run. A 9-point improvement with a 75.
Puts him in 14th so far.
And up at the line now, you have car number 22, Yasuo Takano with Advantage Neo, G-Meister, Cleve Racing, HPI, and Lead.
Has a 0 on his first qualifying run, so to see what he does a nice job, and then he just over-rotates.
Too hot into zone 1, washed out, and ends up with a 0, unfortunately.
That is going to end his weekend as well.
He was having a lot of issues in practice.
And not getting practice definitely does not help.
Definitely. Especially with a new layout for the FDJ2 this year. Pulling up line now, we have car number 318, Timmy Wu, RSR with TRC. Currently sitting on a 73.
Out of the chicane, gaining a lot of speed with a big flick, looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job with outer zone 1. Making his way to outer zone 2. Gets into the outer zone 2 right at the very end and then over-rotates at that touch and go. He almost hit those tires too.
It's a good thing he over-rotated when he did. overall. He was setting up a really nice run, going to zone 1 in its entirety. Just that switch back into the touch and go.
He does have a 73 already, so it
That's
doesn't
good.
really hurt him. But it didn't help him.
It definitely didn't help. Up next, we have car number 614, Ken Young with KCM Trade and TRC, sitting on a 58 right now.
It's a big flick looking for outer zone 1 with a lot of speed, but does a great job outer zone 1. Looking for outer zone 2. Starts off shallow, but does a nice job getting all the way through outer zone 2. Has the touch and go inner clip done quite nice. Does a great job in outer zone 3.
This should be a marked improvement on his first run as well.
For sure.
Nice and deep into zone 1, finishing nice and deep. Yeah, his second run is so much cleaner. A little trouble getting out to zone 2, to about halfway. Inner clip coming up and nails that right after the touch and go. And nice and deep through zone 3. .73. That brings Ken up to 18.
And a lot better than his 58 in the first one.
Yeah. Up next is car number 171, Eijo Noguchi with Harukaze Racing, sitting on a 70.
Around 15. A lot of speed. It's a nice feint in the outer zone 1, but then oh no! Oh no!
Oh, when he was finishing up his run, maybe a little too deep into the wall.
I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, but with their, when they entered outer zone 1, they're pushing their front tires a little bit, and it's throwing all that extra
Don't you ever
rubber.
see it here?
You can see all that dead rubber just, and it just slings up, and the piece just hit me. And we're about, I don't know, 50 feet away.
Yeah, it's good distance. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a 0 for Noguchi on his second run. And coming up now is car number 26, Masayuki Minami with Team YNJ. It's S13 Sylvia with the SR20.
さあ続いてスターティングリットにはナンバー26南正幸選手チーム YNJ シルビア
Has a good flick, looking for outer zone 1. Is a little shallow, making his way to outer zone 2, trying to push himself out there, but does a nice job getting nice and deep into outer zone 2. Hits the touch and go and inner clip quite nice. Throws a lot of angle in outer zone 3.
Yeah, he just didn't quite initiate deep enough. And that caused him to miss zone 1 completely. But zone 2, very nice. Just clips the touch and go, switches back. Inner clip nice, and zone 3 nice. And he's currently sitting on a 60. So do you guys think he'll improve, stay the same? Oh, 59. Sitting at 30 right now. next, we have car number 111, Sugiura Naoki with Wisteria SCM Racing.
Looking for outer zone 1, does a nice job, get all the way through outer zone 1. Finding his way to outer zone 2. It's a little shallow at the beginning, but then gets in there. Does a nice job, just touch and go. And inside clip. It's a little shallow in outer zone 3, but all in all, a good run.
Yeah, especially since he's sitting on a 67. Nice and deep through zone. Finishes right at the edge. Zone 2. Just ride the whole line. Touch and go nice. Switch back to the inner clip. And nice and deep through zone 3.
So the tough part with the lower power cars is that the 321 is pretty far back.
And a 69. So a slight improvement.
Is pretty far back from the first outer zone, and they have to enter before that.
Yeah.
So they're already scrubbing a lot of speed that not necessarily they don't have with a lot of some of the other cars have.
Next up is car number 95, Shuichi Shinouchi with Team Magician. He's sitting on a 62.
Just drops his tire off, but does a nice job. Outer zone 1, gets out of it a little early though. Looking for outer zone 2. Does a nice job in outer zone 2. The touch and go. Inside clip, we're done. Very nice. And is deep in outer zone 3.
Overall, a really good run, especially sitting on a 62. He entered nice and deep into zone 1, but unfortunately not much speed. He had to leave early. Zone 2. He carried and ended pretty deep. Hit the touch and go. Switch back for the inner clip. Nice and rolling through zone 3. An 8-point improvement with a 70. Currently pulling up to the line is car number 99, Kazuya Nagahiro with Nagahiro Racing. And he's currently sitting on a 77.
One, he does a nice flick. Almost getting a reverse entry, but missing zone 1. Looking for outer zone 2. Gets into it at the very end. Hits the touch and go. And the inside clip, quite nice. Does a nice job in outer zone 3.
I mean, for him missing zone 1, he made up nicely with the rest of the run. Again, it's one of those issues whenever you're slightly underpowered. Once you're offline, it's hard to get back on. But overall, he gets a 67 and is currently in 11th place.
With his 77 first qualifying run.
Yes. Up next is car number 777, Raman Russell with RS Watanabe, Garidori Kai, Buy Now Japan.
Making his way with a big flick. Looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job with outer zone 1. But it looks like his diff was messing up again. He only has one wheel pill. tough break for Ramen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his.
Because I saw one tire spinning and the other one not.
Yeah. I wonder if it was maybe an accident.
Could be an accident.
And there's something on the track.
Is that an axle? And unfortunately, Ramen
It's
is
hot.
out for the weekend.
Yeah, so he blew pinions before, switched out the whole rear subframe. Then he blew his diff, or his LSD in practice. Well, up next we have car number 66, Yuma Okada with Kaitaku Racing.
Making his way to outer zone 1. Does a nice job, and then tries to push it out. Just did not have enough speed for outer zone 1. Looking for outer zone 2. Starts off really shallow, but makes his way deep in outer zone 2 at the very end. Does a nice job of that touch and go. And the inside clip. Does a nice job at outer zone 3.
The overall makes up pretty nicely for the mistakes at outer zone. I do wonder if you carry more speed in because you miss outer zone 1. Helps or hurts you even more.
Yeah, the only bad thing is if you go too much speed, you just go straight. You just keep going straight.
Exactly. And a 57 for Okada, putting him in 32nd right now.
He does have a spot so far, but we still got a lot of drivers left, so let's see if he can hold it.
And then we have car number 215, Takeru Takata with Garage Takata and Auto Shop Wise.
Heading to outer zone 1. Has a nice entry into outer zone 1, and then he just over rotates.
Fortunately for Takata, he's sitting on a 73. Burnout box, we have car number 92, Kenji Suzuki with G Meister, HPI Racing with Neat. And Suzuki currently is sitting on a 65.
Now the chicane. The big flick looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job and then falls out of it right at the very end. Coming around to outer zone 2. Shallow at outer zone 2, but then gets into the zone right at the end, missing that touch and go. Does a nice job of that inner clip and then gets deep at outer zone 3.
It's a great flip. Looks like he hooked up a little bit too much. Right around the middle of zone 1. Struggling to get into zone 2. Missing a touch and go. Nice inner clip. Bring it around to zone 3.
He is sitting on 65. Y'all think that'll improve?
having a 65 right now it's
Gotta be close.
yeah, very, very close.
And he gets another 65, so he does not improve,
Consistency.
but he does not go down in score.
That's it at 29. And currently at the line is car number 118, Takuma Yokoyama with Wei Kolo.
Making his way to outer zone 1. Has a big flick looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job, gets deep in outer zone 1, comes around to outer zone 2. Trying to push himself out there. Gets deep in outer zone 2, but then falls back out, but then gets right back in. Does a nice job with that touch and go and inside clip. Looks like he got a little shallow in outer zone 3, but that is a very solid run.
Yeah, a very good run. Nice and deep through zone 1. Maybe too deep. I think that's the first that we've seen that today. Zone 2, beautiful. Inner clip, nice, and then back out to zone 3. So what do you guys think? Do you think he improved on the 60 or staying the same? Oh, 73.
Putting him 18th right now.
Up at the line now, car 727, Tomoharu Nishizaki with Tamematsu Thunderbird with Kia Manjiya sitting on 75.
Does a nice flick looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job and it falls out of it about halfway through. Making his way to outer zone 2. Does a nice job staying all the way through outer zone 2. Is the touch and go. And the inside clip with a lot of angle. And does a nice job in outer zone 3.
Get that inner clip to outer zone 3. Tons of angle in both of those. A great entry, nice and deep. Unfortunately, not enough speed to carry him all the way through the zone, but he's able to clip right at the end too. Zone 2, he stays in the zone the entire way. A little shallow, but get the touch and go. There's tons of angle to the inner clip. Swinging back around for zone 3, also tons of angle. Just lighten up the tires. And Nishizaki with a 72 on the second round.
So he'll keep his 75 and it puts him in 14th position.
Up next, we have car number 830, Stuart Inoue with Stuart with Crew Racing. Sitting on 0.
Has a big flick as he looks for this first outer zone. Hits the first half of the outer zone 1, comes around to outer zone 2. He's nice and even outer zone 2. Right there on the wall. It does a nice job of that touch and go. And the inside clip. Come around to outer zone 3. Does a nice job in outer zone 3.
Yeah, there's tons of angle with this zone. And he's on throttle again. Bringing back to zone 2. Back on throttle, just riding the wall. All the tire smoke, that's what I like to see. To me, that shows commitment and tons of throttle.
Yeah, I think that definitely is going to improve on a 0 from his first run. Gives him a 75, putting him in 17th position so far.
Up at the line now, we have car number 193, Kiminobu Deguchi with Garidori Kai, BNJ with D's Enterprise. Currently sitting on a 78.
big flick as he looks for outer zone 1 with a lot of angle and then over rotates and washes out. That was a close one.
See a lot of angle, a lot. Unfortunately, just a little too much. Yeah, it's a good thing he had a 78 minutes first one.
Exactly. It gives you that opportunity to try something different.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a high qualifying first run means you go out and just go crazy for the second.
Exactly.
Up next, we have car number 48, Tomoyuki Deshiba with OS Genkin and Kamui Produce, and he's sitting on a 70. So we can expect some great things here.
さあ続いてスタートは赤ナンバー48北島智之選手 OSBK 上プロデュース86が間もなくスタートをしてまいります。さあ1本目のスコア70ポイント現在のリード
Heading to outer zone 1. There's a nice flick in outer zone 1. It has. Oh. Looks like he might have gone 3 tires off, but he's going to finish the run. There's a nice job in outer zone 2. The touch and go and outside clip, or inside clip. The outer zone 3 is nice and deep in outer zone 3, but might have been a little too far off.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that's 3 tires off. Sometimes going a little too hard. Especially it gave me inches and seconds. Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 620, Hinato, athlete with LB Racing. And Hinato currently is on a 78.
さあ続いてスタートです。さあこちらも1本目78ポイント高スコアをマークしています。カーナンバー620ミナ選手スタートをしました。
Comes out of the chicane, outer zone 1. The nice flick in outer zone 1. Going a lot of angle, gets deep in outer zone 1. Transitions for outer zone 2. Does a nice job in outer zone 2. Nice and deep right there at the end. Does a nice job with that touch and go. Makes his way to the inside clip, nice. Throws a lot of angle for outer zone 3.
Yeah, that was a beautiful one. Lots of commitment, lots of throttle. Going in super deep into zone 1. Just switching out and back onto gas. Zone 2. Nothing but gas, moving back to touch and go. Inner clip beautiful. Back up to zone 3. I think what it was is Sena. He's like, he's not the only white chaser out here.
Yeah.
And an 83 for Hinato.
Puts him in 5th position so far.
And up next, we have car number 260, Jonathan Chin with Team Taiwan Elite Silver Mist.
Makes his way to this 3-2-1 zone, does a nice job getting into outer zone 1. Transitions right there at the tire. Then gets to outer zone 2. Does a nice job in outer zone 2. Gets the touch and go quite nice. And the inside clip, making his way to outer zone 3. He's nice deep in outer zone 3 with a lot of speed.
I'll tell you what, sitting on an 84, this looks like it might be an improvement.
Yeah.
Like, he was so close to the tires. Beautiful round zone 2. looks like he clipped the wall just a touch. Overall, very beautiful. Nice and deep, lots of angle. Tons of throttle. So close to the tires. Oh, you can see here, it looks like he just
He did touch it.
Yeah. Overall, very solid. So let's see, a lot of mid 80s. Oh, 79 for Jonathan.
He stays in third position with his 84 first qualifying run.
続いてスタート、1本目こちらも79ポイント、高スコアを持っています糸山修来選手、カーナンバー82、メイクアップタイムに
Next up, we have car number 82, Shuhei Itoyama, Makeup Garage B2.
Finding his way to outer zone 1, does a nice job. And on. Just had a little bit too much angle.
But he's sitting on a 79, so that's good.
He does have a very good score that keeps him, should keep him in.
So close, Vern, so close.
Got the first.
Next up, we have car number 39, Taiki Mizui with TMS Racing. And he's pulling up to the line now.
さあそれでは走行大会スターティングリットにはさあ1本目72ポイントを持っていますカーナンバー39水井大輝選手
Heads to this first zone with a lot of speed, trying to push all the way out. Does a nice job. Falls out of it just right in the middle, coming around to outer zone 2. Nice, deep all the way through outer zone 2. It's a little shallow in the middle, but does a nice job of that touch and go. And inside clip, coming around to outer zone 3. Does a very nice job in outer zone 3, all the way on the back line.
Nice and deep going into zone 1. A little shallow towards the end. Zone 2. Run the inner line. Touch and go nice. Switch back to inner clip nice. Nice and deep to zone 2. And a 73 from Mizui. 1 point improvement on his last run, brings him to 19. Next up, car number 63, Fugu Kimura with Team Trinity Racing.
Has a big flick, and then is, oh! He was coming in for a massive entry.
But sitting on a 78, that's good. They're coming in super hard. A hard flick. I think what it was is when he flicked, his back tires were off the track. And unfortunately, that's a 0. Coming up to the line now is car number 103, Tomohiko Kobayashi with Bet 5 Racing. And Kobayashi is currently sitting on a 0.
See if he can go score down as he makes his way to outer zone 1. Missing outer zone 1, comes into outer zone 2, trying to get nice and deep there. So a little shot outer zone 2, but he stays in outer zone 2 the whole time. Nice shot with that touch and go. It's a nice shot at that inside clip, comes around for outer zone 3. It's nice and deep in outer zone 3, and then they might. We'll see what they have to say, but it looks like he might have just spun out or washed out right at the very end. After.
They've told him that they want to be on gas through the finish line.
She was.
Yeah, he was definitely on gas through the finish line. And now they're talking about it's very close on the finish line. So the judges are talking now. So do you guys think it's a half spin at the finish line, or do you think he's going to get a score? So, switch back, clip. No.
I think he was on the left foot brake.
Yeah. I think that last angle sealed the deal. Now we're just waiting for the scoreboard to pop it up. And unfortunately, that's a 0. They considered it a half spin at the finish line.
And that ends Kobayashi's weekend.
Yeah. They just said that in a lead position, there's no way that you can chase that, especially coming through that with high speed. It's just a hazard to the chase driver.
Exactly. It's going to be hard to stop. The chase driver would be in a bind trying to get there.
And up next is car number 62, Tatsuya Kobayashi with Team Trinity Racing.
今一人見せながら上がってるからなるほどそうやっぱり縦に車を持っていかないとそういうことで出口に向かってね伸ばしていかないはいはいさあ続いてスタートですカーナンバー62小林達也選手チームトリニティレーシングデビューテク100マーク
Coming out of the chicane, a lot of speed. He has an 83, so he's going to do something really great. Does a nice job without his own 1 with a lot of angle. Gets deep there. Looks like he's on the left foot brake a lot. Going in a lot of angle. Getting really close to the wall. Hits the touch and go. Comes around to this inner clip. Does a nice job there. Makes his way to outer zone 3. And he's just laying it down for us.
Well, that was beautiful. That was nothing but full throttle the whole time. Nice and deep through zone 1. Swinging back around. Just riding the wall the whole way. Nice and deep on the touch and go, switch back, beautiful. Deep through zone 3. And he's sitting on 83. What do you guys think is
Yeah,
his score?
I think that's the only way he can improve on a score is what he just did.
Yeah.
We'll see if he actually does.
at 88. Puts him in second place for Kobayashi. Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 109, Yusuke Aoki with Garidori Kai, by now Japan, and he's sitting on an 86.
Comes out of the chicane. He has a lot of speed. There's a big flick looking for outer zone 1. Gets deep in the beginning of the outer zone 1, then falls out of it. Makes his way to outer zone 2. Is deep in outer zone 2. Falls out of it right in the middle, and then gets right back in it. Does a nice job of that touch and go and inner clip. Comes around to outer zone 3. Is nice and deep in outer zone 3.
Overall, a really good run. Starts off nice and deep into zone 1. Unfortunately, leaves a bit early. Zone 2 line is a little shallow. But nice going through the touch and go and the inner clip, and nice and deep in the zone 3. You guys think this will improve on his 86? Unfortunately, it didn't. Aoki ends up with a 77 his second run, but the 86 keeps him in third place. Up next, we have car number 23, Jace, with Veicolo with the Z33 Fairlady.
Comes out of the chicane, gaining a lot of speed. Has a nice flick coming into outer zone 1. Falls out of it right in the end of it. Comes around to outer zone 2. Does a nice job at outer zone 2. Hits the touch and go and inside clip quite nice. And follows through outer zone 3.
Yeah, fortunately, it's a little shallow through zone 1. Riding the inner line for zone 2. Does the touch and go nice, inner clip, beautiful. Zone 3, nice and deep. His first run, he was so deep in zone 1, but that caused him to spin out.
Gets a 72, which will put him in 24th position. We'll see if we can hang on to that.
Pulling up to the line now, we have car number 373, MSG Minami with MSG.
He's sitting on a 75.
With CA 18.
Comes out of the chicane. Has a big flick. Looking for outer zone 1. Does a nice job in outer zone 1. Transitions right on the tire. Comes around to outer zone 2. Does a nice job at outer zone 2. Stays in the whole zone. A lot of left foot brake. Hits the touch and go. Hits the inside clip. Comes around to outer zone 3. And does a nice job in outer zone 3.
I think it's going to be an improvement on the 75.
I think so too.
Nice and deep in zone 1. Dude, he's so close to the tires. Ride zone 2 to completion. Touch and go, inner clip, both beautiful, lots of angle. And nice and deep into zone 3. So you guys think it's an improvement? Oh, 72, really close. Currently sitting 14. Up next is car number 28. Yohei Yamaguchi with Dorioka with Autoway.
He is sitting on a 0. Let's see if he can improve on that. Makes his way to his 3-2-1 zone. nice and conservative, but does a great job getting all the way through outside zone 1. Makes his way to outer zone 2. Does even a better job just staying right there on the wall with a lot of left foot brake, giving all the smoke. Hits the touch and go and inside clip, quite nice. Makes his way to outer zone 3 and does a nice job in outer zone 3.
Overall, very clean rows. Definitely a marked improvement over the 0.
Exactly.
Nice. Deep entry into zone 1. Zone 2. Working his way from shallow to deep. Touch and go, nice. Switch it back to the inner clip. Back around to zone 3. Yeah, definitely an improvement on the 0 with a 79.
Puts him in 9th position, and that should put him through. There's only one more 0. So,
Yep.
and that is our next driver.
Car number 110, Sugisaki Sensei. LG project with TMS Racing. He just went in a little